Hi guys, so sorry I'm gonna shoot it this way. I know that the PowerPoint on the computer is kind of hard on the eyes, but I can't, like, my computer won't work for like recording like narrations over pictures, so unless I got like a mic I can't really do that. And then I'm gonna try to do this all in one shot, so if I stutter or, you know, crap like that, I'm not gonna edit it out, so bear with me. So the title, so I'm just gonna say like why SUNY Oswego, which is the school I went to, is good for people who are interested in herpetology and like even the zoology and biology in general. But I think I'll talk about just stuff about this. I know you want to hear the reptile stuff, but just the stuff about the school in general that's good, and then I'll do the reptile stuff. So well, obviously, first thing, it's a state university. I mean, it's like you don't have to go to UFC or whatever, you know, private Cornell, stuff like that, to get, you know, good animal stuff. You know, just some pictures of, you know, this campus is like beautiful. I mean, lake is awesome. My dorm is the one they're like right in front of, like right here. Yeah. I was in Riggs for the first like 2 years, because I was only there 3 years. So Riggs and Johnson are the best dorms. Johnson's only for freshmen though. This is a picture of the whole campus. I don't know how old this is because I don't think the new science center is in this picture, but this picture shows the whole campus from here right before the factory to down here on West Campus. If you go here, don't stay in this section. West Campus is like trash. No, that's where all like the kids who just want to party and stuff live. This is a village here, which is more like my boyfriend's school. The dorms are only like this. It's kind of more like an apartment that you stay with like 3 kids or whatever. Which sounds better, but I don't really like those setups because guess what? You have to clean your own bathroom. And if one person's in it, no one else can use it. A public bathroom, like, you could have like 5 people in there, no big deal. But, so, yeah, the campus looks pretty small, but I mean, what does that really matter? Especially when you have to walk in the snow and stuff. And more of the lake, of course. And this is the big part of Ontario Lake, so it just looks like the ocean. Like, you can't see the other shore. These are some pictures from the top of the Shinneman Center, the new science building they just built that I got to use my last year there. It's so new. This is the greenhouse, which is on the very top of the building. See the water? You should go for the food, because the food's awesome. That's another picture of Riggs, the dorm I lived in for a while. And it's connected to the lakeside dining hall, so you don't even have to go outside and get cold when you want to go eat. Lakeside and Cooper, I haven't been to one of the other ones, but these two are buffet style, so you go in and then you can eat everything and whatever you want. You don't have to pick one meal and then go pay for it like you do at a lot of dining halls I've been to at other schools, which seems kind of stupid. Salad bar, and then, you know, everything. This one has a pizza, a custom pizza thing. You can get a pizza made however you want for dinner. And then they have a pasta bar, which has like 3 different types of pasta and like 3 different types of sauce. There'll be different sauces. And that's every day. There's always dessert. And, you know, you can get everything you want. They always have cider in the fall. For those of you who love cider. The Cooper dining hall is also connected to 2 dorms, and the gym is right underneath it too. So you don't have to go outside to go to the gym either. I stayed in Hart Hall, which is the one that you can't see on the side, looks identical to that one. That was a good dorm. It was the international dorm, so that had all the foreign students in it, which was really awesome. The majority of our foreign students come from Korea. We have a special thing with them. And they're all awesome. And Cooper, the dining hall, has an ice cream bar, so you can get like any type of ice cream you want. You know, you could take, I would take like all these different Perry ice creams and make them into milkshakes. You could do whatever. I had a red velvet milkshake once, and I was walking around and people thought I was drinking blood or something. Okay, so the reason we want to go here is for science, right? So this is the new science building, the Shinneman Center. A couple pictures of the outside. I didn't really get very good pictures. Hang on here. Sorry about that. So, you know, it's all, besides being all like, you know, energy efficient things, like it's all heated with bio wells. There's like tons of wells drilled into the ground that do the heat and everything. And some pictures from the inside. I realized this one was from when it wasn't finished, but it shows the big thing in the center. In the picture down in the lower left is the like IMAX observatory thing that they have. I went in there once and they showed like a video, and it was really awesome because, yeah, it was like an IMAX, but it's, they use it for their, that stuff, I guess. This is the new field station that they built that's out on like the nature trails and all the stuff where you do your outdoor research, which was built the same time as the other science building. And this little silo over here, that's another observatory with a big telescope in it. That's good. There's like ponds, nature trails there. That's where some more the research things I'll tell you about later. That's for our animal behavior class. We watched geese for like 5 labs and just had to watch them for like hours, and then that was it. So that was, you know, that class was awesome. But anyway. Oh, and a tip. If you ever need to remember stuff you see in a microscope, you can take pictures with your phone through a microscope if you hold it the right way. So that's a good tip. Kind of cheating, but okay. So the main thing that we want to talk about is reptile stuff, right? So these are gonna, your main people. Jennifer O'Leary is the main one. She just got there, like, when I came to school there. And she was my advisor and stuff, and she's just awesome. Her main thing is, like, she does the I can say it in my head, chytridiomycosis research that I helped with. And then she does a lot of, I don't know the difference between archaeology and paleontology, but anyway, she digs up bones and studies the bones of small amphibians and snakes and figure out like the evolution of them and stuff like that. And then Dr. Sophia Winston over here, she helps her with the chytrid research, and I took a class with her. And they're really similar professors too. Like, if you want to know how they teach, they both teach about the same. She taught a class, host microbial interactions, which was really interesting. It was kind of challenging, but that's just their teaching style. But you learn a lot more that way. So they teach, you know, like, they always have written tests. You have to read a lot of scientific papers for them, even if you don't write a research paper, which you don't have to for the herpetology class, which is, I guess, well, that's kind of one of the main reasons that Oswego is good, is that they actually have a herpetology class. So, and like, that was really fun. It's like, you know, you don't have a research paper, which is always a plus, but you have a lab where you have to memorize all the scientific names, you know, yada yada stuff. But, so do I have pictures of the research stuff? Oh, and how can you not like a professor that lets you bring your dog to class? That was, my capstone I took with Dr. O'Leary. That was our evolution capstone that we have to take for biology and zoology majors. Okay, so here's some, man, I'm not zoomed out far enough. Some pictures from the chytrid research, if you didn't know, that all the world's amphibians are in decline. and nobody knew why for, you know, a while. A lot of species have gone extinct, they're all declining, and it's because of this fungus that they get infected with. And the most important part of an amphibian is their skin, you know, the mucus and everything, and this fungus infects their skin, and it makes them so they can't, you know, breathe as well, and, you know, it just kills them eventually. And so pretty much our research is we would go out and we would catch them, and, you know, we do all these tests. We take a toe clip and swabs to test for the fungus to see if they have it, and then we give that stuff to the people that do the lab part, which I didn't do any of. And then this was just, you know, part of our herpetology class was we split into teams and we had a competition to see who could find the most different species. I don't remember who won that. I think we got like second. I don't think we won it. Maybe we did. I remember getting candy. But okay. So there was that. But I did an independent research study, which was the school had set up these exclosures, which an exclosure is a thing that keeps deer out of a certain area. And so each of the different departments of the school did their own tests. You know, you got the mammalogists and the bird people, and they all did their own test. So me and Olori, we were in charge of the reptile part, so I had to come up with a procedure of, you know, how we would sample to see how many reptiles were in the exclosure, the part where the deer were kept out of, and then the control, where the deer were still allowed to go, to see how they affect the wildlife. And so, yeah, I had to do testing on that and write a big research paper, and I helped. And then whenever she did take people out there for like the herpetology classes and different things, I would go and help her. And I did some talks on it, stuff like that. So that's another thing that you can do, you know, independent study, whatever, you can work with. She doesn't have many people that work on that. And I did, what else did I do? There was like a national frog call survey thing that I did, like a couple different nights. I went out to certain coordinates where they would have, well, they would set, it was just a coordinate, they didn't have anything set up there. And you would just sit there and listen for like 20 minutes or a half an hour and write down all the different frogs you heard. And I got credit for that. And yeah, she just has, like, Olori has so many different reptile things going on that you can work on. And she knows, you know, she knows people, like, everywhere that are doing things. But like I said, she's mainly, like, the archaeology thing. And I personally am not into that stuff, but I know a lot of people who are. It's just, like, all her, like, teaching is all, everything goes back to, like, the evolution stuff, and, you know, it gets old after a while, after having, like, 3 or 4 classes with her. I'm just like, ugh. But, it's hard stuff to learn. It's like, you think you know what, like, how evolution works and stuff, but it's like, until you're in college, you really have no idea. It's like, they taught you nothing until you get to college. So, and then, of course, you can't talk about Oswego without sunsets, so I think that's, like, the last picture I have on here. But, yeah, let me see. Just something to look at while I finish talking, if I can think of anything else. But I mean, like, all these different reptile and amphibian things, like, I can't think of another school that had these things. Well, let me think. The reason I wanted to go to the school in the first place was they had this program that I wanted to do, which was, it was a 5-year program where you would go to Oswego for 3 years, and then you would transfer down to Florida to, Gainesville. They have a teaching zoo there, the Santa Fe Teaching Zoo. That's what it was. And I mean, that's a real, like, and you would be down there for 2 years, and then you wouldn't, by the time you get to the teaching zoo, you wouldn't have even graduated from Oswego yet. You would have to go to the teaching zoo for the 2 years and then go back to Oswego and graduate, you know, if you even got the rest of your classes at the Santa Fe, which is only a community college anyway. So pretty much, I think you would have gotten like a bachelor's degree and some associate's degree out of that program, which I ended up scrapping it because, you know, talking to people. And I mean, I even went to Gainesville, to that place, to visit it, and, you know, I wasn't very impressed with it, honestly. Like, as a zoo, it was nothing. And, like, you know, even talking to the students there, I'm like, I know way more than these people. And I don't think they had any reptiles there either. So I was like, I'm just gonna, because I had enough credits, like, I took a few AP classes in high school, so I had enough credits that if I worked, you know, hard enough, I had to do full 17 credits every semester, except for my last semester, but I graduated in 3 years. And I took a couple online summer and winter classes. But I'm like, you know what, I'll do that, and I'll do internships in the summer, and then I'll be out a year early, get to the job market, whatever. So I did that instead, and which I'm still glad I did, because I wouldn't want to have been there for 5 years. But this was back before they changed the curriculum, but most people who did the zoology major, because it's the hardest major at the school, it has the most credits. Most people finished it in 5 years. Most people couldn't finish it in 4 years because it was so many credits. Which, of course, they called them super seniors, of course, because they were the extra year. And I knew a lot of people who were super seniors, but they changed the curriculum while I was there, so I think it made it easier. So I don't think that's the case anymore. But pretty much explaining that, AP classes are really hard. Like, they're way harder than if you went to the college and took the classes. I think I was lucky, because what did I take? I took AP Physics, which was, our physics professor didn't know how to teach it, so it was, like, really hard. The one I took in high school, anyway. So it was just really hard. When I went to college and took the second part of the physics, it was a lot easier. Even though that professor is crazy, just a heads up, the physics teacher has some mental issues. But, I didn't have to, for the major, the zoology, you would have to take 2 semesters of calculus, but in high school I was a year ahead in math, so that counted as the first part of calculus, and then I took AP calculus, which was the second. So I think I had like 3, and I took an AP English class, so I think I had 3 AP classes, so that was like 15 credits or something. So it was pretty much one semester. And then I just took the summer and winter classes, and 17 credits each semester to get the extra semester, to get a year early. But anyway, that's boring stuff. But more about, like, Lori, like, she's just probably, like, I'd say, like, the greatest professor you could have. I mean, like, as far as her teaching, she's not easy. Like, a lot of people complain because she's not a professor that just, how do I say it? She's a professor who doesn't like to give A's. She explains it as, or 100, if that helps you think better. It's pretty much like, in order to get 100 or an A, you have to go beyond getting the answers right. You can't just get the answers right and get 100. You have to go extra. You have to do extra to get the 100. Which, yeah, it does kind of suck, but I don't know. I'm just good academically, so I didn't have much of a problem. I mean, I never got an A in her classes. Oh, I don't know, it seems, is it for every college, is it like this? But it's like, there's no A pluses at this school. It's only A. A is the highest you can get. I don't know if that's all colleges. I don't think so. But I always thought that was weird. I was like, I got all these A's, and I'm like, wait. But then I found out that was the highest, so I was like, oh, okay. But, no, so she doesn't like to give perfect scores, is one thing. And then, it's all written stuff. Like, you're not gonna get multiple choice stuff. It's all active. So, yeah, so written tests, and then her thing she does is, well, all her classes kind of have the same format. So it's pretty much, you'll have set scientific papers to read. And you'll have to read them, and then you'll write, like, a summary on it. You know, that's pretty much what your homework assignments are. And then you just have your 3 tests or whatever, and that's pretty much it. And your labs, which is the memorization part with all the scientific names and stuff. But, yeah, no, it's like, I didn't mind it, but I know a lot of people, you know, that struggle academically, so it's different for other people. I'm like, I thought college was easy. I'm like, as long as you do your homework, you get, like, an A, but other people, that doesn't work for, so that way of thinking, so. But, no, I mean, I think it's an awesome school. I mean, obviously I didn't go to any other schools, but I mean, it's gorgeous, and you've got brand new science facilities that are really high tech, and, you know, the majority of the people I knew, like, they were going to med school after, so they were just getting their zoology and then going to med school. Yeah, I mean, you might have trouble with the snow if you're not used to it, but all the buildings are really close together, so it's not going to kill you to walk a few minutes in the snow. I know all the people, when I went to Florida to that teaching zoo, they complained about the snow so much. They're like, oh my god, it was so awful. And I was like, oh really? So I was like thinking that. But it turns out that where I'm from is pretty much exactly like their weather, or I live on a plateau, and they get all the snow. So our weather was worse than Oswego, and so nobody else got that. They were like, oh my god, this is the worst snow ever. And I'm like, no, not really. No, but they, you know, they talk about lake effect snow, but lake effect snow doesn't mean that the people on the lake get it. It means the people away from the lake get it. So the snow kind of skips Oswego and goes to the surrounding towns, so they don't really get a ton of snow. And it's warmer because you're near the big body of water. So there's definitely more upsides than you think. The biggest downside is the wind. It's like always windy. So if you're a stickler about keeping your hair perfect, you might have some issues. But oh, I'm babbling, but no, it's fun talking about the school because it's awesome. But there's definitely a lot of herpetology related research that I don't know however many other schools have. And like, I know one of the professors that I was gonna say I never had, but I did have him for genetics. He worked on a lot of research with turtles, endangered turtles, and rattlesnakes, timber rattlesnakes and stuff, I think. But he does a lot of turtle things, if people are interested in turtles. That was Dr. Rosenbaum. And even the chemistry professors were even good. I mean, like I said, I think the only professor, like, even besides the general education teachers, the only bad one I had was that friggin' physics teacher, which, even though he was, like, he had anger issues. Even, it was so bad that one of the students even was like, dude, you have to stop. He, like, said that to him. And that was awesome, because the rest of us were all just freaking cowards. But, yeah, even a lot of, like, the general ed teachers are really creative and everything. Like, I hate history classes. So I had the American history class I had to take. And he had, like, a lot of movie assignments, and he had video games, like, for, like, I think our major project. Like, I just played this pirate video game and had to write down, you know, what I plundered and how much I won and stuff, and incorporated that into a paper I wrote about Blackbeard and stuff. And, you know, that was that. And, like, we watched some, you know, movies, and, you know, a lot of these professors are really creative and not really that dull. Even, like, I did have to take one English class, but I took this weird English class. It was, it was called Western Heritage. And it was just pretty much, we read all the Greek epics and stuff. But instead of being taught in a historical kind of way, it was an English class, so we wrote, you know, obviously, like, kind of literary analysis stuff, but we watched so many operas and stuff in that class. That was awesome. I think he was the strictest teacher I had. Like, he, like, wouldn't let anybody wear hats, and he wouldn't let anybody sit in the back. He's like, you have to fill in the front rows, and you can't sit in the back. But, okay, I think rambling is finally over, so, anyway, that's fun. I hope that helps you guys out. I mean, if you have any more questions, like if I forgot to mention something important, which I may have because I'm doing this all at once, and I didn't write any notes, so, yeah. So, if you have any questions, let me know, and that's it. Thanks for watching. See you later. I guess I broke my rule about not editing, but I had to tell you guys this. They let you keep pets on campus. So that's, you know, that's a plus. Obviously, I mean, what did I keep? I kept stuff I wasn't supposed to. But you were allowed to keep lizards. So I brought, you know, I had my fat-tailed gecko there one year, and then I had my crested gecko. I got the crested gecko to keep at college. And then the last year, I had a bunch of snakes in my closet. Which you weren't supposed to have snakes because they say they're predators, so you can't have them. But lizards are predators, yada yada. Anyway, you can have pets. You know, there were a lot of people that had hamsters, and I knew someone that had a hedgehog, which I don't think they were supposed to have, but hedgehog and hamsters, mice, lizards, fish. Yeah, so that's cool. I don't know any other schools that let students do that, but definitely that's a thing. So, alright, this time it's really bye, and see you later. Thanks for watching.